Hello, this is Jeremy Mulfay with Fundamental Tennis. I'm excited to bring this video to you as we will be discussing my favorite shot and, in my opinion, the most feel-good shot in tennis, and that is the volley. There's probably at least 20 online instructional videos about the ground strokes or serve for every one video about volleys. Volleys are just not as sexy of a topic as the other primary strokes. It's a shame because it's such a fun and effective shot and it should not be undervalued. Volleys are something you need in your arsenal when you're on offense, when you're receiving a short ball, and much more. Having quality volleys is certainly required for all you doubles players out there. Now, I will be talking specifically about two technical tips for your forehand and backhand volley. These tips will allow you to place the ball where you want and greatly limit your volley errors. What's cool about these two tips is they are so simple and easy to do, yet so effective. You can improve your volleys literally immediately with these powerful volley fundamentals. Let's do it. First thing we're going to talk about is the lower body, the legs. In most cases, players and often coaches will look to the upper body and specifically the racket when making a volley error. They will say things like, "Don't swing," or "the racket face was open," or "the swing path went downwards too much." While these things may be true, they are usually a symptom of the primary problem, which is poor footwork and balance. You see, if you're off balance, then you will have trouble controlling the racket, therefore you'll have trouble controlling the ball. So it all starts with your balance. Think of it like this. You must keep your feet under your center of gravity whenever possible. You want to keep your upper body upright. Again, this is key because this will get you to easily control the racket, therefore help you to control the ball because of course the racket controls the ball. Let's take a look at the footage of me volleying here. I want you to notice how I'm keeping my feet under my body. I'm not reaching excessively. I'm not tilting my upper body. I'm in control. I'm moving while hitting. And whenever possible, I'm moving through the contact phase as opposed to waiting for the ball to come to me. Most players take just one step with their opposite foot as if that's the only correct footwork for the volley. However, the truth is you want to always move forward with more than one step whenever possible. Now, what I was just talking about, this one-step footwork, will lead to poor balance, poor court positioning. It weakens your speed to get ready for the next shot, and probably most importantly, it will cause you to swing at the ball too much since you won't get power from the lower body as you should. This swing is what causes lots of errors because the lengthier your swing path is, the harder it is to time the volley and control the volley. Hopefully after hearing these words you have already realized that if you are not proactive with your footwork, then everything you need to be a good volleyer is going to be too difficult to achieve. Now you don't have to move as much or as fast as I am, but you've got to stop setting your feet when you hit the ball as if you're hitting a ground stroke. You can often get away with lazy footwork at the baseline, but not at the net. Things happen too fast and you've got to move like you're on a hot stove to keep up. It's important to note that I am not making contact after or as I'm landing my step. I'm making contact well before I land my step so that my body and racket aren't falling as I hit, and so I can transfer as much energy into the ball as possible. You must simply remember to move forward while hitting. Don't stop your momentum at contact. The lower body must be active so that you can keep the upper body relatively still. This still upper body is the key to controlling your volleys, but again, if the lower body isn't doing its job, then the upper body is sure to do too much, resulting in a lack of control and coordination. I have never seen a player consistently move their feet when volleying and swing too much. This is because if you move to the ball, then you won't need to swing to get power. Good footwork results in good balance and ball control. Good footwork makes volleying fun. You must use your athleticism when playing at the net. The second tip we're going to talk about is about the racket and specifically how to finish the volley technique. We just talked about how using the lower body efficiently naturally improves the upper body and the racket work. However, it can certainly be helpful to know what to do with the racket. Notice how each volley I'm finishing with the hitting side of my strings still facing the target more or less. This incredibly simple visual has proven to be very effective for me as well as my students. I like this visual as it guarantees that you don't swing the racket too much. It encourages a stable, fixed wrist position and allows you to keep the strings facing your target during and after the contact phase. The ball is only on the strings for about 4 to 5 milliseconds, so keeping the strings to your target during the hitting phase makes it hard to mess up, as of course the ball goes to wherever your strings are pointing at contact. Imagine swinging and trying to control the ball with this swing in which the strings are pointing in several different directions throughout the backswing to contact and the follow-through. To time your volley in this way so that your strings are pointing to the target at contact during this incredibly small window of 4 to 5 milliseconds is just not achievable in producing consistent quality volleys. So do me a favor, in addition to some of the other tips I have already given you in this video, next time you're on the court, try holding your volley finish with the strings of your racket pointing to your target until around the time your ball bounces on the other side of the net, or until your partner makes contact. I'm confident you'll be surprised how much this helps your volleys. In summary, so many players complicate the volley with unnecessary movements of the racket and lack of movement of the legs, which make volleying so difficult, and this difficulty influences a lot of players to only come to the net when they shake hands. I would hate for you to never experience the party at the net or the feeling of hitting a quality volley. Remember, unless you have a finishing volley, keep your strings to the target throughout contact and until you finish the stroke. I encourage you to hold each volley's finish of your racket when practicing to reinforce the reminder of the racket's simplicity. The ball is only on the strings for about 4 to 5 milliseconds, so if you are not keeping your strings to the target during the contact phase, then it's going to be tough to control that volley. As for the legs, keep your legs under you whenever possible. Now you want to keep your body upright as best you can as well and move through the contact to maintain balance, create power, and quicken your recovery for the next shot. As I said before, you will have trouble controlling your racket if you don't control your body, specifically the balance of your body. Maybe most importantly, without proactive footwork and creating energy from the ground, you will likely continue to do too much with your racket to create power. Remember, we want the power to come from the lower body so we can keep the upper body relatively still to maximize control and effectiveness. If you learned something, please subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell below, and hit the like button. Once again, this is Jeremy Mulfay with Fundamental Tennis. I'll see you next week.